Splatoon 2 is now available for the Nintendo Switch. In a world of Call of Duty and Battlefield, can a third-person shooter succeed? Also, is this a game that utilizes the new console or just a standard sequel? Stay tuned to find out. Hey guys, Sabriel here, and today we're gonna be talking about Splatoon 2 on the Nintendo Switch. It's always best to wait a month to do a review of an online-focused game. History has taught us that these are prone to problems with servers, bugs, and glitches. Splatoon 2 has been out for just under a month now, and I'm glad to say there's been little problems with the online experience. We have had the occasional wait time for lobbies, but not what we experienced in Bomberman. So the Splatoon 2 experience online has not changed, which is good. The problem is that not much has changed in the sequel. Don't get me wrong, Splatoon 2 is a great game, and if it's your first time playing, you're gonna have a blast. But if you put as many hours into the game as on the Wii U, you're gonna be disappointed in the lack of improvement. Let's get into it. Multiplayer is where this game is to be played, and it provides a truly fun experience. Player uses an arsenal of primary weapons and grenades, as well as temporary special weapons to splatter ink around an arena. Player characters are called Inklings, who have the ability to change between a humanoid kid and squid-like form. Transforming into a squid allows the player to swim through ink of their own color, which is much faster than attempting to traverse it in human form to refill their ink guns. There are two main game modes, regular battle and ranked battle, which is locked until level 10. In regular battle, you play Turf War, a 4 vs 4 game where each team is assigned its own ink color. Teams must attempt to splatter their ink around the arena, avoiding enemy shots along the way. After the time runs out, the judge calculates what percentage of the arena is covered in each team's ink. The team with the highest percentage of coverage wins the round. The ranked battle modes require a higher level of strategy compared to Turf War, and wins and losses are counted towards players' ranks. Players begin with a C- rating but are able to improve and regress based on how well they perform. League Battle is a new online mode in which teams of 2 or 4 battle other teams to gain points in a 2-hour period. Success in all of these modes will grant you coins that you can use to buy different shoes, hats, and clothes for your Inkling that provide stat increases, or to just simply dress them up. Importantly, you can use these to buy different weapons. They're the standard variety of a shooter game: heavy machine guns, assault rifles, handguns, sniper, and melee. However, the focus of the game is not eliminating players, but covering the map, so they work differently in their functionality and their style. For example, the melee weapons are paintbrushes and rollers, which allow you to cover areas quickly and smash opponents' faces. Coordinating what weapon and what role players on your team will make is the key to success. If all 4 of you pick the sniping weapon, it will allow you to take out enemies from range, but they will not cover a lot of the map, which brings us nicely to a major complaint about the game. You cannot change weapons in the lobby. This problem has carried over from the original game. At first you think, okay, that's just them balancing the game so that you have a variety of weapon types in one team. Nope, not the case. I can understand not allowing changing the weapon in the middle of a game, but when waiting for a game, that's just poor design. To change the weapon, you have to come out of the lobby, select the weapon, and then rejoin. It may not sound like much, but it gets really irritating. We do get a new mode in Salmon Run, a kind of horde mode. Players must collect power eggs and golden eggs by defeating salmonids in order to complete rounds. Players must bring enough golden eggs to the goal until the flag is all the way up to complete the round and move on to the next round. Inklings in this mode are equipped with special gear. Those that get splatted will return on a lifesaver. Players should attack this to revive the Inkling. Salmon Run can be played via local multiplayer or online during certain time slots. Speaking of poor design and Nintendo's control, let's talk about talking to people online. Playing a Nintendo game online is like being under a police state run by a mustached leader. You can have a lot of fun in Splatoon, but only playing the 2 maps they decide are available at any given time. Also, want to talk to your teammates in a shooter that is not about individual victory or KD, but team play? You wish. Sometimes I'm happy that I can't talk to the general online public because quite frankly, they're horrible people, myself included, but doing team chat in Splatoon 2 is a terrible system. First, you have to download the Nintendo Switch Online app. Then sign into Nintendo Switch Online, then go to the online lounge of Splatoon 2, then invite your friends, and then follow this handy pictorial guide to have the audio all blend together.
How about no, Scott?
It just isn't worth it. Here's our guide. 1. Download and use Discord, and 2. Deal with the audio not being mixed. Let's carry on the moaning by talking about the controls. The controls in the game are very functional, but they have moved the jump button around, so Wii U players will have to reconfigure their muscle memory. There's no real difference in playing in docked or portable mode when using Joy-Cons, but we have to recommend the Pro controller for this game. It's just so much better. When you immediately start the game, motion controls are on, continuing Nintendo's crusade that motion controls are the best way to play games. It did not work in Star Fox Zero and... Hang on a sec. Hello?
Are you criticizing Star Fox Zero again?
How do you know what I'm saying at any given time?
The sound guy is a Nintendo fanboy. How's it going, Ron?
Hey, Mike.
We are always watching and listening. We are one. Never speak badly of Star Fox Zero or motion controls. Nintendo is good. Nintendo is our pal. Nintendo is good. Nintendo is our pal. Nintendo is good. Nintendo is our pal.
You do know I'm giving Splatoon 2 a hard time at the moment.
That's fine. There's no nostalgia attached to it. We only had to wait 2 years for a new one. Give it 7 more years and then it will join the Hall of Secrets that cannot be touched.
The Hall of Secrets.
Talk to you later.
Man, I am not looking forward to the new Metroid Prime game. Anyway, we personally don't like the motion controls, especially in portable mode, as we keep bumping into people on the train or accidentally hitting the flush on the toilet. Ever had that happen? You know what we mean? Toilet water on the bum? That being said, however, there's a benefit to the motion controls and many people speak highly of it to improve your game. The criticism we have is that the motion controls only work left to right. To look up and down, you still have to use the right analog stick. It's a weird fluid of motion you have to develop to make it work, but once you get it, you can't go back. Another problem is that you can't change controls in the middle of a game or in a lobby, so it's back to the start to change the sensitivity or the motion controls. That's one of the biggest problems with online. It doesn't give us a streamlined approach. The single-player mode is called Hero Mode and is a continuation from the original game. It's more fleshed out than the original and the difficulty level is increased. You must rescue the Great Zapfish, which has been captured by the evil Octarians. It's an acceptable campaign and furthers the lore of Splatoon, but nothing further. You're not getting a Destiny experience here. There are more collectibles to get this time around that improve the experience. The challenge of a 100% completion is tantalizing as it gives you greater upgrades for multiplayer mode. In a world of gritty gray and brown shooters, it is so refreshing to have a game that is so bright and colorful. The aesthetic of the game is similar to the Jet Set Radio franchise with its Japanese hip-hop style. We talked about this in our ARMS review and we're gonna call it Neo Nintendo. While most online shooters comprise of big men wearing armor and military fatigues, it's wonderful to play as a boy or girl wearing a snorkel set while running around with a giant paintbrush. But the game doesn't really show off the hardware of the Switch when compared to the Wii U. We've done a full video on this that you can watch on our channel, but in short, the ink looks better. That's it. The game has a J-pop soundtrack that is very catchy and I find myself singing along as I navigate the maps. As this is a Nintendo game, we have to talk about the Amiibo support, and yet again, as with the other Switch games, it's a bit lacking. You can use the original Wii U Splatoon Amiibos to unlock new gear, and you can do the same with the new sets. The gear is slightly better as it allows more slots for upgrades, but that's really it. In the Wii U game, the Amiibos could be used to unlock new loading screen minigames, but they're gone in Splatoon 2. Actually, why are they gone? They were one of the best parts about the game. Sure, they were simple things that we can't show you any capture footage for because you can't capture the Wii U screen, but they were awesome. They relieved boredom between matches, but still, with the rest of the Amiibos in your collection, if they ain't Splatoon, they ain't doing nothing but collecting dust. And now it's time for a ubiquitous video game rage. This edition is supplied by Amiibo collectors. Again. You're making this really hard for me, Nintendo. Do you know how hard it is to convince my wife that these are worth buying and that I'm not just some 30-year-old throwing money at nostalgia plastic? With the Wii U, I could use pretty much any Amiibo and lots of games to show her why I spend this money. Now I can't do that. What are you saying I do now? Lie? I can't lie. She can tell when I'm lying. She's learned my tale since I tried convincing her that I didn't spend thousands of pounds on FIFA packs. Sort it out, Nintendo. You brought Amiibos into this world and it's your duty to use them in your games. They were supposed to be better than Skylanders.
You were the chosen one!
Although it may seem like we've spent this review slagging off Splatoon 2 like a bunch of herd fanboys, at the core, it's a great game. We recommend it to all our friends and everyone that's bought it loves it. The issue we have with the game is that it's a sequel, and as such, we can't fully judge it as an entity in its own right. The problem with Splatoon 2 is that it feels like a default sequel on the Wii U, something you'd expect with Call of Duty, new maps, fancier visuals, and new weapons. Splatoon 2 does not feel like the Splatoon version for the Nintendo Switch, like Nintendo have done historically with Mario Kart, Zelda, Metroid, and Mario. The game feels and plays like the old Wii U version with a bit more razzle-dazzle, and yes, this is a good thing, why change what's broken? But Splatoon 2 is more like Splatoon Remastered, and when you label a game 2, you better come up with a better game. As a game in its own right, Splatoon 2 gets a 7 out of 10. As a sequel, it gets a 5 out of 10. So that's our review of Splatoon 2, guys. Let us know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on this game? Do you think it's worthy of being called a sequel, or is it just Splatoon 1.5? We always love to hear from you, and please make sure to head over to AltChar.com for much more content like this. Thanks a lot for watching, and this is Sabriel, and see you in the next video.